Hello, students. Today we are going to be talking about something that is kind of similar to I, me, and my, and you, your, and yours. Today we are talking about
she,
and
they,
okay, so first I'm going to be talking about he, then I will talk about she, and then I will talk about they last. All right, so first, when we're talking about he, you often will hear and talk about he when you are having a conversation with someone else. He could be many people. He could be
dad, grandfather,
dad, grandfather, or
brother,
for example. He could also be a male classmate or someone like that. Now, when you are trying to tell someone a story, you might say something about
dad,
dad
went,
to
coffee shop, that one coffee shop,
dad went to the coffee shop. You might say that, and then you might also want to say more about your dad. So then you have to go through all of these pages to find dad again.
dad, liked, drinking,
Dad liked drinking the coffee. So dad went to the coffee shop, then you had to go all the way through and find dad again, liked drinking. But instead, what you could do is you could go to
he, liked,
he liked
drinking,
he liked drinking. So then that way, that just shortens up the amount of space that you have to go through, because the more people you know, the more people you'll have to search through to find the person you're trying to talk about. So it's a lot easier to say he after your communication partner knows who you're talking about, because it just saves a lot of time for you and a lot of effort. Another thing too is that you might use
he,
if you don't know the name of whoever it is you're talking about. So for example, I might walk into a room and somebody comes up to me and starts talking, and I will maybe talk to them, and then after a while, I might tell somebody else about what this person was telling me. I said, "Oh, he told me this. That guy over there, that guy, he told me," because I maybe don't know that person. So, some instances of that where you might forget a name or you don't know the name or it's not on your device, you could use the word he. Now we're going to be talking about
she,
okay, people that are associated with the word she could include
mom, grandmother,
or
sister,
so you see how long it took me to scroll through all those pages. So we're going to be talking about a lot of the same stuff. So I want to talk about something with my mom. Okay. I
go,
went to see my mom this weekend. And then I might have to go all the way through. Oh my goodness.
Mom
was
A-A-P-P-Y
happy because I brought
happy dog.
my dog along. So do you see how long it took me to scroll through and find mom? Instead, I could say
She
was
Y
happy to see
happy dog.
my dog. So those are good uses for the words he and she. And that's in conversation. I will talk a little bit more about one other way that you might hear it a lot. But first I'm going to tell you about they. Now they can be a little bit more tricky because they can be used for multiple people, or it might just be a polite way to say you talk to a person, but you're not quite sure if it was a girl or a boy. So like for example, if I'm talking on the phone to somebody, sometimes people have voices that are like a little bit low to be a girl or a little bit high to be a boy. So I might not really know unless I hear their name or something like that. So I might just say, well, they said this. Or if you want to keep it a secret. So for example, if I am telling a story about a friend and I don't want anybody to know which friend it was, I might just say, well, I had a friend one time that did this, and they weren't my favorite person at that point. You know, I might not say who the friend was because I want to keep it a secret. So, but most of the time, they is going to be talking about multiple people. So, for example, you might want to be talking about your
mom
and your
dad
and your
uncle
and you know, so on and so on the list goes. You could talk about your mom, dad, your uncle, your aunt. A good way to summarize that first would be to just say
family.
But after you use the word family, you can also say the word
They,
which is much closer to the top of the list. So when you are talking about your family, you could say
I.
Here, let's go back. Let's try again. That wasn't the word I was looking for. So you might say
My. Family.
I might say something that my family does.
Feels.
Might say my family feels
Not.
So when I say that, my family, I come from a family that doesn't have a lot of feelings. So I might cry about something, but the rest of my family might not cry about it. So they might not have a lot of, they don't really cry a lot. So I might say they don't have a lot of feelings that they share. So when I talk about that, I could say
they,
they are
open,
they're open to whatever happens, and it doesn't really bother them too much. So if I would have had to go all the way down and said every single person that's in my family, that would have been too long of a video, right? So that's where the word they can be a very valuable asset to you. Okay, I'm going to show you one more thing that's going to help you with he, she, and they. Now, this is just something that you are going to come across, and that is that there are going to be books and movies that use the words he, she, and they. Now, whenever they're talking about a he, it's whoever they last said the name of usually. If they're talking about she, it's the last girl that they said the name of. And if they're talking about they, it's the last group of people that they were talking about. So, for example, it says that Comet, the cat, was born on Nantucket Island. He grew up wandering over the island. Who are they talking about when they say he? They're talking about Comet, because they just said his name. And then if we skip over to the later part of the story, I'm going to see if I can find a word with, here it is. Okay. Then here it says, it was Waffle's first time on the island. She was happy to have Comet's company. Who was happy to have his company? Waffle was happy to have his company. Oh wait, here she is. Waffle. She was happy to have his company. And the last person it talked about was Waffles. And then the last one, I'm going to see, it talks about the staff were so nice that they gave Comet his own bowl of leftover milkshake. So who was so nice? The staff. And that's something that you'll see in different books and movies. You'll also hear in conversations. He, she, and they pretty much always just replace whatever the last person's name was or group of people's name was that was said. So we're going to stop there for today. I hope that you have a wonderful day and keep on working on the words you, yours, and your, the words I, me, and my. And now you can add to that the words he, she, and they. If you have it on your device, that's great. If you don't have it on your device, you can still work on listening for it in conversations. And hopefully you are having that conversation about just understanding what it is that you are hearing. And that's a good thing to add so that you can just continue to understand better what people are saying to you, and then you'll get the conversation more and be able to express more and talk more. Have a wonderful day, and we'll see you on the Zoom calls.